Hi, I'm Claudette. Welcome to my creative corner with Stampin' with Miss Puff. Today I would like to share with you how I made these beautiful little mini 3x3 note cards using my leftover scrap of paper. If you have any leftover scraps, to make one of these cards you're going to need at least 3 by 6 inches of card. If you have an 8.5 by 11 card stock, you could get 3 note cards out of that with some leftover paper. Today I'm using Night of Navy and White Whisper cardstock and whole lot of lovely designer paper by Stampin' Up with its coordinating inks. With this one I had the butterfly dielet cut, and I used the insert, the leftover, to use the insert for inside. Just showing you with this thank you sentiment, and I use the ink, the same ink inside and out. Let's go ahead and create one of these 3x3 note cards. I'm going to start out using the thick Whisper White cardstock, measuring 3 by 6. You're going to score down on the long side of the 6 inches, and you're going to score down the middle at 3 and fold it. I use my bone folder to get the size crisp. I'm going to go ahead and use a whole lot of lovely designer series paper, measuring 2 inches by 2 inches. I'm going to go ahead and use the stitch shape framelit dies in the circle. This come in a whole pack of circles, ovals, and square. If you're a beginner stamper, that's a nice set to have. I'm going to go ahead and run this circle through my Big Shot. These stitch framelets give it a nice tailored look. It makes a difference in how your cards look. So the Big Shot is going to go ahead and do that cutting for me if you're not familiar with the Big Shot. I'm going to go ahead and put some scrap paper down, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment on top of that circle. I'm using Night of Navy ink by Stampin' Up, and I'm going to use a thank you sentiment. You could use whatever sentiment you would like that would sit or fit inside of your shape. Holding down for a few seconds so the ink could transfer to the paper. There you have it. We're going to get our dimensional, meaning dimensional. Also I have a strip, a leftover Night of Navy, and I'm going to cut that strip down to 3 inches. It's a 1/2 inch by 3 inch, and I'm going to use that strip instead of the ribbon that I use on this other card. I'm going to go ahead and get my multi-purpose glue out. The multi-purpose glue is really nice because it's very forgiving. You have a few seconds to move it around before it dries. You have to be careful with the glue. You don't get it all over your paper, your work. It's all going to be sticky. Alright, so we get that down. So we're going to go ahead and get our designer series paper. Let's see, that fits right there. And the sentiment on top, and decide how I want it to go there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up with some dimensional. What's nice about Stampin' Up! Designer series papers, if you have the different designs on both sides. So you could get two different cards without getting into a different set of paper. If you use a regular dimensionals, you don't have to use as many of these mini dimensionals that I'm using here. Alright, so we get that down. That was a long process. So we're going to go ahead and center that in the middle. The 3x3 cards. If I didn't mention, the designer series paper is 2x2. So we're going to put some dimensional here on the circle with your sentiment. And you don't have to use dimensionals. You could use your multi-purpose glue as well. I just want to pop it up a little bit. Go ahead and center that on top of your designer series paper, and that's it. If you have a little bling, you could add it to it. And you could add your sentiment in the inside. And this is the other card that I did earlier, and with this one I used ribbon and I added a little rhinestone to it instead of the Night of Navy little strip of paper. And one of the other cards I use the same whole lot of lovely paper with the Calypso Coral ink, and I use a Wink of Stella, and I just add a little glimmer around the flowers to give it a little shimmer. I'm not sure if you could see that, a little sparkle. You could do different little things. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Happy stamping.